to the taxpayer-funded activism of the ABC, especially on a day like today, it being International Women's Day. What you're about to see is a perfect example of the national broadcaster ignoring pertinent data and instead using misleading terms to indoctrinate and agitate. For example, see this tweet from today. What if women were to go on strike from unpaid childcare and domestic housework? Really? Did someone say unpaid childcare and housework for looking after your own kids and cleaning your own house? What a fantastic idea. Let's all live in filth and squalor. That will show the patriarchy we mean business. And it just got even better from there.
What if women were to go on strike for one day from household chores and child raising?
Hi Cleo, hi Mummy.
It's very tough to do everything. You've got to feed the baby.
My perfect strike day is going to get a coffee at any time of the day that I feel like it.
On my strike day, I'll choose to go to the beach so I can relax and be with nature and be able to have a swim without having to worry about anyone else but myself.
Come on. Child raising is harder than the work environment because generally in the work environment people will work together and do things together, whereas the children sometimes won't do what you want them to do.
My perfect strike day is going to get a coffee? I mean, what planet are these people existing on? The ABC's determination to portray empowered women in a free country as oppressed victims is not only intellectually dishonest, but it's destructive. There's never been a better time to be a woman in the Western world. We are empowered, we are free, we are equal. And yet some seem hell-bent on convincing the next generation of girls that they're downtrodden, perpetual victims. Why are we saddling privileged young women with anxiety about their supposed victimhood when their rights and opportunities are fully protected by law? But no, let's encourage women to strike from housework and motherhood in some vacuous bit of taxpayer-funded activism. Contrary to what the ABC would have you believe, it's not all beer and Skittles for the men. As the Sydney Morning Herald reported last year, working long hours is killing hundreds of thousands of people a year in a worsening trend, and Australia is part of the region worst affected. The joint study produced by the World Health Organization and the International Labour Organization showed that most victims, some 72%, were men and were middle-aged or older. Or this from the Australian Institute of Family Studies in 2017, citing a joint study by the Australian National University and the Berlin Social Science Centre. Discussions about how to address work-family challenges largely centre on mothers, but the challenges are also real for fathers. There is increased recognition that a good father is directly involved in the care of children, but this requires time, and fathers are often time-constrained due to work. Many fathers in Australia are working long hours and have schedules that are not family-friendly, including evening and weekend work. But as expected, the privileged and pampered lot of the ABC ignored all that and today welcomed the call for mothers to strike. ABC business reporter Rihanna Whitson tweeted, "I vote for taking the day off next year instead of women doing extra to celebrate International Women's Day." Oh, you poor thing, you were forced to do extra to celebrate International Women's Day. And this from ABC News reader Juanita Phillips. "I wrote a book about unpaid domestic labour all the way back in 2008, and it is profoundly depressing that 14 years later, the statistics and the debate are essentially unchanged." That's the same Juanita Phillips who we learned in 2013, courtesy of a misplaced document, was on a salary of around $316,000. You can only imagine what her wage is now, nearly 10 years later. But Juanita, please tell us more about your hardship. If only the ABC journalists who wrote this drivel went on strike themselves.